Hello traders, Jason here with SwingHigh.com. It is Thursday, December 10th, 2009, and some of the indexes are higher today while some are lower. I'm going to take a quick run around the intraday action and move out to the broader time frame and talk about that, because intraday today we gapped up and went flat for the most part. At least in the S&P, which was up 0.56%. The Dow up 0.7%. The Nasdaq up 0.5%, giving up some of its gains throughout the session there, with a couple big red volume spikes, which isn't the best thing to see. The IWM, or the Russells, this is a different story. This one gapped up like the rest of the markets, but then sold off throughout the day and finished down 0.4%. So some real relative weakness in the Russells, as well as the financials. Not as much though. Gapped up a little bit and then sold off throughout the day. So the financials finished down 0.14%. Gold and the dollar were flat. Not much to talk about there. The tick. The tick spent most of the day positive, so that's a bullish read, as well as the tick Q. The Nasdaq tick. Actually, the Nasdaq tick was bearish for the most part. It started slightly bullish, then drifted into bearish territory. The Trin at 0.9 is slightly bullish, but I would have liked to see it under 0.8 to confirm a bullish move more. For the most part, it hovered in the neutral range between 0.8 and 1.2. The Trin Q is definitely bullish, well under 0.8 at 0.5 for most of the day. The VIX, if you remember my halftime report, I was talking about how the VIX was not down enough to confirm the move higher in stocks. Stocks were up about 0.75%. I said the VIX had to be down about 2.5% to confirm that move, and well, one or the other had to give in, and it looks like stocks gave into the VIX and not the other way around. The VIX finished down 1.5%, which confirms a 0.5% move up in the broader markets. So it seems like stocks pulled back sort of to match the VIX's sentiment read. Let's look at the broader time frame now. Here on SPY, we have a doji, but it's not a reversal pattern because there is no up leg here, so you can't really reverse when you didn't have a direction. So this is still part of a consolidation that I'm seeing, this high base range between 108 and 112, or 112.38 if you want to include the high. The Dow, the Dow's high base is much tighter, between 102.08 and 105 on the diamonds, at least. That's the ETF that tracks the Dow. The Nasdaq, the Nasdaq is sort of making a high base, not as strong as the Dow's for sure. I would call it probably between this 43.50 area and 45.50. Let's look at the Russells, or the financials, and then the Russells. Here we have some relative weakness on the daily chart of the financials. As you can see here, instead of making a high base like the rest of the markets, we have sold off or pulled back a little bit here. That could be considered a bull pullback if it does bounce from here, or a bull flag. But right now, that's definitely relatively weak compared to the S&P and the Dow, as well as the Nasdaq. The Russells are making an interesting symmetrical triangle type formation here, which is not necessarily a good sign, but it could be. Let's take a look at the RUT, which is a little better, and I already have the triangle drawn in. This could be a bullish pennant, but at the same time, the fact that we had a lower swing high here, it is relatively weak to the other indexes. So interesting to note that the Russells and financials are relatively weak on the daily time frame, but for the most part today looked like a sideways consolidation type day. Thanks for being a part of SwingHigh.com. Talk to you tomorrow.